Welcome, Jenica. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing all right. So, Jenica, first of all, tell me about yourself. What's the role that you play at Microsoft?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been with the Microsoft stores for 4 years.
Hmm.
Actually, yeah, this is like my 4 year anniversary, I think, today or the next day. So I've been with Microsoft for 4 years, and I work in the retail space. And currently, I'm working as an assistant store manager for Microsoft with a heavy focus on getting the proper trainings to our enterprise customers. So training them on like Microsoft Teams and the entire Microsoft 365 platform. And then on top of that, I'm also the co-founder and co-chair of Blacks at Microsoft Canada.
We're sitting here in June 2020, and if you asked any one of us today, hey, why do we need a employee resource group called Blacks at Microsoft Canada?
Mhm.
Anyone at Microsoft Canada would absolutely get why we need it. I bet, though, that you guys didn't think of starting an employee resource group in the month of June. So tell me a little bit about the journey. When did you and John start thinking about it? What is the work that
Yeah.
you need to do?
Before I was an assistant manager with Microsoft, I had a different role, and it was a business expert role. And, I kind of realized I was the only Black business expert in the Canadian market.
Hmm.
And I looked a little bit further into it, right? I was like, okay, well, how many product advisors or salespeople do we have in the retail space
Mhm.
Canada-wide that are Black? How many assistant store managers did we have? How many store managers did we have? Who on our Canadian leadership team was Black, right? And I did my calculations, and in the retail space, there wasn't a lot. It was, the number made me sad. And I started thinking to myself, how are we creating a space for people of color within Microsoft Canada?
Mhm.
And myself and my other assistant store manager, Tanya Brown, we decided, you know what, we're going to start BAM Canada. And while we were doing this, and at least putting out the signals that we want BAM Canada to be a thing, or as I like to call BAMida sometimes, we wanted BAMida to be a thing. One of those signals caught John, who was on his same path, right? He's realizing he's a sales manager, corporate level in Microsoft Canada, but he's also not seeing people that look like him in his workspace. From there, we've just been making waves. 2019, Tanya and I decided we wanted to create BAM. John was added into our loop, and we started submitting our paperwork. In February 2020, the BAM conference, we were announced that Canada was an official chapter of BAM.
What do you and John and others hope to accomplish?
Sometimes people are just looking at diversity. They think that it just means the same thing, but they forget the inclusion part, where we're actually creating a space for people to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And you're comfortable when your culture is being appreciated, or your culture, you're able to share experiences with other people, and they understand what you're talking about, right? And
Yeah.
they feel with you, right? Not just for you, they feel with you.
Yeah.
So that was my main intention. I'm somebody who likes to set up a home. A beautiful thing about the dynamic between John and I, who are co-chairs, is that John works at corporate and I work at retail, and we're able to have a broader approach that way. We can think about our career development and what's the retention. How are we retaining our Black employees? How are we making sure that Black employees are getting the opportunities to move up from retail into corp? These are conversations that John and I have on a regular, not only because it affects me, but it affects so many other employees in Microsoft. Yeah.
So, last question for you. Do you have any ideas on what the rest of us can do and be better allies for you?
You need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And what that means is having some self-reflection, understanding what your part is, how you can be doing better, learn, think, reflect, what have I done in the past that might not have looked great, So let's learn from our past, and let's create those spaces. Let's be supportive. Let's listen. Listening is so important. You don't even understand when somebody listens to me. Oh my gosh, it feels great. So listen, create spaces, and educate yourself. Just keep on educating yourself. Read books by Black authors. It doesn't always have to be a sad book, right? There's happy books out there too, I promise. I promise. But start introducing that into your lifestyle, right? I guarantee you'll be a great ally. And know when to step back and put somebody else forward. I think we're seeing a lot of that right now, which is also nice to see. You're seeing a lot of people step back and put a person of color forward and let them use their voice. So keep that constant. Just keep that going. That's what I love.
I love it. Thank you for telling me once more why inclusion matters. Really appreciate your participation.
No worries. I'm happy to be here, and thank you for having me.